Here we are again, welcome back to the channel. Me and Connie today we're away to try and take this light off, find out why they're not working. I think it's just a case of the wiring at some point in the van's life has been cut somewhere. So I think we're just going to take this one off of here and I'm going to rewire it into my switchboard that's on the unit here, and then have a bit of light sort of underside of the worktop illuminating where the microwave sits. So that's the plan for today. We'll see how we get on with it. So I've not looked in these lights yet, just thought I'll unscrew it. Worst case scenario is I'll just be able to cut the wire and tuck it into the hole that it's coming through. But obviously I'll have to blank it off in case it is live at some point. But first of all we'll take the light away and run some power direct to the battery just to see that it comes on. But I don't really want a light at this side of the van, so that's why I just want the kitchen bit to illuminate. I will leave a couple of holes in the carpet, but I don't think it'll be too noticeable. So I've undone the wires here, as you can see. They just went into a little junction block. So there's just two screws holding the housing onto the roof here. But as you can see as well, oh there we go, it is all carpeted underneath, so apart from the indentation where the light's been, once I take this wire and get rid of it, you're never going to know. So yeah, we'll get this fitted into the kitchen. So what I've done here is, I've got an old lighting cable out in my shed and I've just wired it right into this light here. It's just, I don't know if you can see it there, it's just a wee junction block there. So yeah, I've just wired that in, it's got a wee switch on it, and it's a bit of a bodge test this, but I've got the other side there, just a couple of cables. I'm just going to connect it to the battery terminals. Probably not the safest idea, but like I say, it's switched as well. We'll just check if it's working before we do anything with the light. It's a bit of a stretch to reach the terminals. Right, nothing this time. I've got a bit of a light. One of the tubes is coming on. I don't know if it'll show up there. But yeah, we'll have a working light. It's obviously just needing a bulb on the other side, so we'll wire it in anyway and then we can change the bulb at a later time. There's nowhere that supplies them at the moment that's close by, so we'll sort that out later. Right, so the idea for this light, this is the cover here for it. The idea for it is that we're going to have it in here. Try and make it fit underneath the worktop so that it illuminates that section of the cupboard. I'm not sure it's going to fit, but we'll give it a go. Right, so that's the light fitted there. Didn't do it on the underside, just put it on the back wall as you can see. So we'll get the power switched on here, and I've got it on one of the switches over on the other side of the cabinet, although there is a switch at the top side there of the light which I probably won't be able to reach. So yeah, oh, I did think there was actually only one bulb working, but they appear to both be on now, so that's a bonus. Maybe it was just loose. It does flicker a wee bit, maybe a couple of new tubes wouldn't go amiss. But yeah, for now I'm quite pleased with that. It's a little bit of light at the back of the cabinet, so hopefully when it's all dark at night, just put that light on, there'll be enough of a glow that we can see what we're doing without illuminating the van too much. So yeah, I'll check the switch on the actual light as well. Yep, so that's working too. That's good. I'll maybe put a wee hatch in the back here. I've got a bit on the side that I've just boxed in. I might put a wee cupboard door on there, and then I could reach in and put that light on, and maybe I think about it in time I'll kind of make a section here that I can put stuff behind the microwave for a little bit more storage. But that's a job for another day. Like I say, quite happy with how that's turned out. Right, I had a few things I had to do this morning as well as working on the van, so I've got them out the road, and I had a look at what else I'm going to be doing. I'm kind of held up because I was waiting on hinges coming for the cupboard doors and stuff like that, so what I'm going to do is I'll wait until they arrive. They were meant to be here yesterday, but because of postal strikes and stuff, they've obviously been delayed. So we'll get back to my neck of the woods, we'll take a look at the van again, and I'll decide what I'm going to be doing next. But it's like a building site in the back there, and I need to tidy everything up before I crack on and do the rest of it. So I'm going to try and find some storage space. I'm going to put a lid on one of my storage boxes, and I'll maybe build another box that I can fit under the seats next to the porta potty type blue thing. So if I put that in underneath there, I'll just have to measure a box that's going to squeeze in there tight, and I'll put a lid on that as well, and it gives me a wee bit more storage. Right, so there's a couple of things that I've done at the van that I'm not happy with. So one of them, the TV bracket up there, I've had to move the bracket. I had it on the, I didn't have to tell you all this, but I'm making mistakes as I go. I had the bracket on the lower side, which meant that the top side still swiveled out and in. So I've moved the bracket on at the top side, means the TV's held more securely, which was a bit of an issue because you don't want it swinging out and hitting one of the windows. So that's the first thing that I've changed today. Next thing I'm going to change, I'll be out of view, but I've left the camera here so you can see what I'm doing. So the front here of the drawer, I'm really not happy with this white stuff. Made a mess of making the drawer in the first place, so I've got a couple of screw holes that are no longer needed, and I just think instead of using this white stuff, I think if I use plywood about the same thickness on the front of the drawer, and that whole section, so that the cupboard at the bottom that I'm going to build as well is made of the same stuff. I'm going to get rid of this white stuff, and today I'm going to cut a bit of ply. And another thing that I noticed was the up and down, the upright part of the unit is kind of at the edge of here. And what I wasn't thinking was, it could actually, the front of the drawer could be a bit wider, just at this side, just so that it's coming against something rather than just being on the edge. So yeah, you live and learn, and although this is like van number 5 for me, I'm still learning as I go, because although it wasn't documented on my channel, it was quite some years ago, 2007 I think, 2006 maybe, I did a Renault Traffic, and it was just a case of taking the interior out of a Renault Traffic Romance that I'd picked up, and I'd cracked the engine block on the trip down to Blackpool. So I got a minibus, and I basically just took the interior out of one van and put it in the other. It was my first semi-build, if you like. So I did water pumps and stuff like that, and tried to make it a wee bit more refined. But in doing so, I didn't really learn as much as I would have if I'd just done a complete build. So that's why I'm still sort of learning as I go, and I'm sure everybody else is the same. You know, there's wee things that you pick up each van that you do. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of this white stuff. Although it looks, daughter's hair bubbles on the handle here. Although it looks quite nice with the little handle and things, I think if I put ply on here, then it lends itself for some decoration. I can even paint it or varnish it or whatever, just to make it look a little bit nicer. So yeah, that's the next task, is just take this off and try and cut a bit of ply that will be more in looking tidier for the van. And the section that sits above that, I think I said on a previous video, I'm doing all my cuts with a jigsaw, which is not ideal. I should have bought a circular saw, but I've not got one. I'm trying to keep costs down. So I mean, I've got two jigsaws, one's mains powered and one's battery powered. With all the cuts that I've been doing, the battery powered drill jigsaw combi is kind of running out of power quite often. I don't know if the batteries are maybe dying or what, but they just don't seem to take the same charge as they used to. So yeah, I'm going to use my mains jigsaw and try and cut plywood to make the front of this and the section above it, and I'll probably try and cut out the cupboard door also. Although I've not got my hinges yet, I think I said earlier, if I get everything ready, then I'll just make it a case of bolting everything on when it all comes. So yeah, I'll take this off now and I'll go and get that cut. Right, so this is the ply I'm going to be using. This is the drawer front. Like I say, there was extra holes in it, as you can see. It just didn't look pretty. So I think it'll just look nicer with this wood. Obviously it's a bit grubby looking just now, but it can be sanded down and varnished or whatnot. Whereas this white stuff, it's just getting a mess, as you can see. So yeah, that's the bit that sits above the drawer, and that's the drawer front itself. So I'm just going to basically cut the right size. I'm going to leave a wee bit of overhang on these ones, because like I say, these have to be a wee bit bigger than I initially did, but we'll get there. So yeah, I'll get on with cutting them just now. Right, so it's actually been a longer day than I expected today. I've got a few things done. I've got that light in. I've changed the fronts of the drawer and the bit above it. I've got plywood in there now. I'm waiting to let you see that. And I've put a couple of fronts on the wee shelves that I built at the side that were housing the TV bracket. I've still put cupboards in that in, and I'm going to change the drawer runners because I just got cheap ones for a couple of quid. I'd rather get roller bearing runners because it'll just be smoother. These ones seem to jump. I've tried adjusting the sides and make sure they're tight and everything, but for some reason they just seem to slide off. There's like these wee wheels that go around, and when they go in, although they're on the tracks, there is a bit of play there. So yeah, you get what you pay for. At the end of the day, I should have just bought the better runners in the first place. So they'll be getting replaced pretty soon, because that's one of these wee jobs I always say in my videos. If it's doing your head in now, it's going to do your head in the future. So I'm going to get these changed ASAP. But yeah, for now, I'll let you see what I've done. I'll just pick the camera up here. So yeah, I've got a couple of fronts on there, started putting a couple of things in, and I've changed the fronts of my bits on there. I wasn't liking the white stuff. I'm going to be replacing it all eventually. But yeah, the only thing I'm not too keen on is the screw holes. But there is other ways to do it, but trying to do it on a budget, it's just a case of screw everything together, try and paint it up in the future, make it look nice. I've also put all my plates and whatnot in that tub down there. I've got a pot at the back there, don't know if you can see it with the light. So yeah, that kind of, it fits in really nicely. You just pop that in there and it kind of matches in quite well. So all my stuff's stored in there. I've got a storage bucket in next to my sponges. Need to wash this later. So yeah, I've got a lot of stuff in there as well. And I've got like a wee case there, that's got all my dishcloths and everything in it. Still to do the water. That's the biggest job apart from the bed, so it's basically just the water and the bed to do yet. So yeah, we'll get on to that quite soon. So that concludes the video for today. If you liked what you saw, just hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Anyway, thanks for watching today. I've not edited this yet, obviously. No, that's pish.